Hi, I'm Rick, founder and president of Affair Recovery. And today I'd like to talk a few minutes about the holiday season and how you survive it and give you maybe some tips for how to get through it. It's the most wonderful time of the year, maybe. Infidelity, as you know, watching this video, is a profound interruption of life. The impact is so significant that it has a way of compartmentalizing life to everything before the infidelity and everything after the infidelity. Which means, especially if you're within the first 2 years of this whole discovery, it feels like the holiday season is difficult to face. At the best of times, with trauma, life feels overwhelming. And for many of my clients and people I talk to, the thought of facing the holidays and the complications brought on in families and relationships as a result of this makes it seem even worse. I'm not trying to paint a bleak picture, but if it's how you feel, like, I don't even know how to deal with this, I want you to know that it's normal. You're not the only one. Sadly, most people going through this, especially in the beginning, the first few years, are left feeling undone, not even knowing how to face things. Partially, even going through the holiday season may feel like a profound loss for you. And you feel like just grieving because it doesn't feel enjoyable anymore. It may not feel like the best time of the year. Perhaps some of the tips that I can give today can help you navigate what is a challenging time, and perhaps maybe find ways to make it even enjoyable for you. My first tip, and excuse the way I'm handling this, but it's in the written part of the newsletter. My own daughter actually had to deal with infidelity when her husband betrayed her, which, as you can imagine, for Steph and I, it's like, that's not supposed to happen anymore for us. But now it's the next generation. And in the newsletter, in the written portion, I actually tell the story of how my daughter, I believe very creatively, faced her holiday season last year. And I think her solution was brilliant. But because I want you to read the newsletter, you're going to have to go do that part of it to read it to see what she did. Second tip, please don't isolate. One of the natural impacts of trauma is to want to isolate. It's the impact of that ascribed shame that we talk about. It's like it feels painful to be around other people. However, isolation isn't one of the things that's going to really help. At EMS Weekend or in the EMS online groups or Harboring Hope or Hope for Healing, if you've done our courses, one of the things you find is the advantage of being in those groups is it makes you feel normal, only because everybody else shares your story. And it also makes things more bearable. There's a theory called social baseline theory that we base much of our work on at Affair Recovery. And basically it says that if you take a person and put them in front of a mountain and you have them rate the difficulty of climbing that mountain, let's say they rate it at a 7. However, if they're standing next to another person, they may only rate it a 4. It's because when you're with other people, there's load sharing. There's other people allow you to emotionally regulate. That connection is just crucial. And understandably, if you're feeling really depressed, if you feel no energy, it'll seem impossible to get with other people. At the same time, if you can get with others who are like you, people you know who have gone through this, and I know so many of you probably not even talk to anyone about it, so that can really be a challenge, but especially if you're in Harboring Hope, if you've done Hope for Healing, if you've done the EMS course, contact the people in your group. Talk with them. Get with them on Christmas Day so you can have somebody to talk to, or, on Hanukkah or Thanksgiving. But stay connected, because isolating is only going to give, I think, more, negative influence for you. So get out of the room and do things. Third tip, don't give in to holiday pressures. I understand that people have events you may attend, or you may have people at your house or whatever, but I want you to have permission, I'll give it to you, to leave an event if you're not comfortable. Be willing to tell others that I'm just not up for this. That's okay. I know I just told you not to isolate, but when it comes to maybe grieving things, there may be moments that, you need to be kind to yourself and don't make yourself stay in situations where you're uncomfortable. Fourth tip, volunteer. Just this morning, I was talking to somebody who, because of the circumstances of where they're at in their recovery, he's spending Thanksgiving alone. And he was just talking about the overwhelming feeling he had about, facing the day. What was he going to do? That loneliness seemed just overwhelming. And I said, well, let's step back and plan. What could you do? I said, how about you've got free time? How about maybe serving others? How about volunteering? Because helping others is something that can be very, very helpful to you. Such as, I said, contact people. See if you can find a soup kitchen to work with, or maybe you can invite somebody you know over that also doesn't have anybody to spend the holidays with, or help somebody that has, a need, helping your neighbor with a yard or a house task. Any of those types of behaviors, when you're serving other people, actually help you to ultimately find meaning. Not only does it bless other people, but I always, think that when I'm able to do things for other people, volunteering, I'm the one ultimately that probably gets blessed even more, because it's just a part of life. When I can help another, I somehow feel that my life does have meaning still, and it does have purpose. And I know for this individual, thinking through what he was going to do began to provide a sense of hope even. And it took away that sense of loneliness and actually kind of created its own spark of excitement for him. Fifth tip, just get back to nature. We think about the holidays, I think, oftentimes as being something that we do in the house, or decorating, or providing meals, or things like that. But I'd suggest, if you don't normally do this, create a new tradition of just going for a walk in a park or the woods. Being around nature is one of those things that helps you get reconnected to the essence of who you are, and it helps you to relax and to feel better. It takes away that sense of overwhelm and just gets you back very much to basics. I'd also suggest the next tip would be create new rituals and perhaps avoid old ones that serve as painful reminders. I understand most families do have traditions, and it's tempting to want to keep all of that up. But sometimes letting go of old traditions so you don't get triggered by those and creating new ones helps create a new meaning, a new understanding. Find traditions that can be truly meaningful in your own life, the way, if you go forward, how you want life to be. Honestly, in the newsletter, I got a lot more tips than just these. I hope it just gets you started to think, how are we going to do this? Ultimately, people don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan. And I'm hoping you'll be incredibly intentional this year, thinking through ways that I can do this holiday differently without the pressure. So often I think people put so much pressure on themselves to make it, the happiest time of the year. This year, I hope you'll make it a meaningful time. Feel free to do less. Set boundaries, not be around people that are triggering. Take care of yourself. Enjoy your family. You being present with your kids, with your family, I guarantee you, especially your nuclear family there, that probably will mean more to others and to you than being able to accomplish everything else you normally put pressure on yourself to do. So I do hope you have a meaningful and a profound holiday season. And those of us at Affair Recovery, we do want to wish you a happy holiday season. To healing.